Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesday. I'm your doTERRA wellness advocate, Christy Gammon. And as always, I'm so excited to be here with you during this time. Had a little technical difficulty getting started today. So hopefully the live is working. If for any reason it's not coming through live in our Facebook group, I am recording this and we'll post the recording later. So just in case there's an issue, but hopefully it's flowing now. So that we can continue our Healthy Holidays series. Today is part 4, which I've called The Gift of Balance. And first off, what I want to do is share my top 5 favorite ways to create balance in my life, to experience balance, whether it's the regular old time of year or especially during the holidays. These are the things that help me keep on track and really help me to be most productive and successful, no matter what I'm doing. So the first one is time blocking and batching tasks. I love to time block my day. I have little sections all throughout the day where I do specific things. So I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I make sure I have a well-rounded schedule throughout the day, a well-rounded approach to my life. So I'm doing all the things that I'm responsible to do and many of the things that bring me joy. And I'm giving not only equal or balanced attention to those things, but focused attention. I'm not fretting all day long, like, oh gosh, I've got to do this. When am I going to squeeze this in? When it's time blocked and batched, then you have a much higher chance of actually getting it done. Those things, like I said, that you have to do, and also those things that you really want to do. And those are the things that I find that fuel me to be able to do the things that I have to do. So I strongly encourage blocking your time. And now the main reason to do this, and a lot of times people will say, well, that's all well and good, but sometimes your day just doesn't go like you expected. And that does happen sometimes. It doesn't happen as often as you think. A lot of what derails us is because of our own lack of planning and organization. Yes, life is always going to life you. And when a crisis comes up, I promise you'll be much better able to handle it if you're living your life from a baseline of that kind of focused attention, that kind of planning and organizing your time. So that when a crisis does arise, you've either in the past handled most things on a regular basis, so nothing's going to fall apart. And for in that moment, you can put life aside and deal with that crisis at hand. And then in the next couple of days, maybe in the next couple of minutes or hours, however long that crisis takes to handle, you can get back to the plan. If you're not working from a plan, if you're not working from a time blocked day, then something small can really derail you, even more than just entering into that day without a clue of how it's going to flow. You might have a lot of trouble getting back to where you want to be. 2 is set a timer. Often we only feel like we have, oh, I just have 10 minutes or, oh, I just have an hour. And I think you'll be surprised how much you can get done in small amounts of time. And try, now I don't set an actual timer anymore. I just kind of in my mind say, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to do this. Or I often will have these pockets where, say, I'm in the car for the pickup line for Kate for 5 to 10 minutes. Or I'm waiting to change laundry. Or for instance, I had 10 minutes before this webinar began, this live began. And so I gave myself 10 minutes, just looked at the clock on the microwave and thought, how many things can I get done in this 10 minutes? I let our dog out. She took care of what she was doing. And while she was doing that, I switched a load of laundry. I had already prepared what I was going to do for this live, so that was all around me. But something that was involved in that preparation, which I'll talk about in a minute, triggered me to remind me that I hadn't done an Itovi scan for myself in a few months. And so because I was so drawn to one of the oils that I'm going to talk about in this live, I thought, I wonder if that would come up on my scan. So I also took a couple minutes to do a fresh Itovi scan for myself, which is a huge gift of just perspective and knowledge and list of oils and supplements that are going to help me the most going ahead into the holiday season. So the fact that I was able to get that done in 2 or 3 minutes out of the 10 was really cool. So switch the lid of laundry, come back up, ready to let Princess back in, give her her treat, get her settled in the living room, wash my hands, and come back in ready to go for the live. So I could have easily just sat and done nothing. And sometimes it's good to sit and do nothing if that's what you really need in that moment. Or I could have played a phone game or wasted the time. And so try to be really careful to make conscious choices. Do I need to just give myself a little break and play a fun game, or send a text, or check in on Facebook for a couple minutes? Or do I need to sit in silence with my eyes closed and just bask in it? Do I need to just practice deep breathing or pray for a couple minutes? Or can I get a few tasks done that are really going to bless me later in the day? So just kind of leaning in and deciding what is needed and then using that time. I think even if you have 5 or 10 minutes, start by setting a timer so you don't go over. But then as you get used to the practice, I think you'll enjoy just giving yourself those little challenges and seeing what you can get done. I think you'll be blessed to learn how much you can accomplish in just really short bits of time. My third favorite thing to do is set work hours. Now, as a self-employed person who works from home, I have a lot of freedom and flexibility in that. But what I want to encourage is that this is for everyone. So I'm not saying something that's completely unrealistic, like choose your own work hours and, just expect your employer to deal with that. I'm guessing that you have set work hours, even if you work at a job outside the home. What I want to talk to you about is those times where you have discretionary time. So say you have a lunch break, say you're able to come in early, or you're able to stay late. I would encourage you to only take advantage of one of those 3 windows a day and get as much done during that time as you can. So say it's coming in a little bit early, then really enjoy your lunch. Connect with your coworkers, or get a task done during that time, or get some extra work done while you eat, just depending on how you choose out of the 3. Use one of those time blocks to get some extra work done. Use one of the other 2 to just enjoy, have extra time at home with the family in the morning, or get home on time and have dinner with the family, or stay late at work. So when your time is discretionary, either before the work hours start, during the lunch hour, or after the work hours end, I just want to encourage you not to burn the candle on both ends and throw yourself into extra work early, midday, and late, so that the work-life balance becomes out of balance during this holiday season. So maybe you're looking forward to taking a couple of days off. It's really easy for some guilt to creep in and make you feel like, well, I really need to work extra as much as I can so that I can thoroughly enjoy these couple days off. But sadly, what typically happens if you overdo it on the work during those days, those last few days, you're not going to enjoy the time with your family so much, because you're going to have all this stress that's built up. You may even have a physical breakdown. So you've got cold or flu symptoms, or just feeling really exhausted. And so you can't enjoy the family time fully. And so want to encourage to just set work hours, respect your work hours, and then also respect when the work is done. and to not think, oh, I could get ahead or I could do extra. I really encourage you to find that balance in your workday. And then if you're like me, my top two strength is responsibility. And so I do carry the weight of responsibility heavily, even as a self-employed person who works from home. I'm constantly thinking, am I doing enough? Have I served enough? Have I planned and prepared enough? I'm constantly thinking those things in the back of my mind. So something that's really important to me is to schedule playtime. So that's my number four. Just as I schedule my work hours and my live broadcasts, the things that I'm doing at set times, whether they're classes or meeting with people one-on-one over the phone or in person, I also need to schedule, okay, these are the times during the week where I'm going to spend time with my family, cooking healthy meals, sitting down and eating and enjoying that food together, maybe playing a game or watching a movie, just having set times where we go to church together, the conversations that we have in those car rides. My brain is not preoccupied with other things because I've done those and then I've set them aside. And so I'm being fully present with my family during those scheduled playtimes. So sometimes we'll book something, buy a movie ticket or go to an event. We have different things that are scheduled that way. Other things we just block out and say, we're not going to be leaving the house this night because we're just going to be doing games and movies and stuff here as a family. So just being very intentional on scheduling that playtime as well to make sure it happens. And then last one is to set an affirmation to just kind of overrule those thoughts that are flowing through the brain, through the mind during the day. I love to have an affirmation that helps me just flow really well from work to play and vice versa. And so I have these cards from an essential oil deck that I purchased at one point, and I love them. I have this little tiny easel that sits behind me here there we go, right there in my display. And it always has one of these cards on it. And so I'll have it up until I feel like, okay, I've really anchored into that. I've been practicing it for a while now, I'll switch it up. But I wanted to share this one with you because this one's really good for me all the time. And if you're a working mom or a working woman, man, we're all balancing life and the season that we're in. I really think this is good for anybody. I create massive value in small pockets of time. And so even if you're saying a version of that, some of the words I don't always remember exactly, but any version of that you can just remind yourself that you create massive value in small amounts of time. This is really going to bless you. So just to keep repeating that, and then it's going to anchor you back. It's going to remind you to set the timer. It's going to remind you to time block and batch your tasks, doing similar things at the same time. And I don't think I mentioned that up at the top, but what I mean when I say batch tasks is like if I have phone calls to make all the phone calls in one set, because I have to be in a mindset to be on the phone talking with people. If I'm going to do house chores, I do those early in the day and late in the day. Call it my home blessing rituals or routines. I try to keep those things together in blocks of time. Just to give you a couple quick examples. When I work on all my social media posting and planning, I do as much as I can in batches. So I'll create 5 or 10 graphics at a time. I'll write 5 or 10 posts at a time. And once I'm in that mode of creation, it's good to stay in that and get like some marked progress done. And then I have the blessing of not having to, I put my posts into a scheduler so they just go. I'm not always sitting at the computer posting live when my posts come up. So that's a really great thing to do. Okay, I wanted to read to you from the back of this card. It says, it can be tempting to assume you need more time to create what you desire, but often we can accomplish everything in powerful, focused small pockets of time. Imagine the possibilities of what you will create with even just 15 to 30 minutes of focused genius. Give yourself the gift of being highly productive by becoming fully present and setting aside distractions to create maximum value with the gift of time that you have. So all time is a gift, and we want to maximize even just those small bits of it. So I want to go over a few oils that I think are going to bless you today. The first one is fennel, and this was the one when I was smelling it earlier. It just reminded me how much I really do love our sweet fennel. This was not one that I loved initially, and it kind of grew on me over time. But in this season of my life, it just smells so sweet. It's intoxicating to me. Loving fennel, and it's a great digestive oil. On the card, it actually says fennel moves the individual into action when feelings of defeat are ruling the day. And it allows the individual to digest life in bite-sized pieces and own their outcomes. And so I really love this take on fennel, because you can just put some on your tummy if the stress is mounting and that has any impact on your digestive tract. Fennel is a great oil to put on the stomach and get things moving in that department, but it can also help you emotionally just process through feelings of defeat, feelings of lack or scarcity, like there's not enough time or you're not going to be able to get everything done. Fennel can help you move from those stuck emotions into action. And a wonderful diffuser blend that I was reminded of is fennel and lemon. Very simple, smells amazing anywhere in the home, especially in the kitchen, but I do it in my office sometimes, and I'm going to be doing this afternoon. Fennel and lemon, 1 or 2 drops each. I do equal parts. So if 2 drops come out, that's totally fine. But see if you don't love that diffuser blend to get you going. And then motivate. I have to talk about motivate. It's such an easy go-to when you're trying to get things done. And whether, you're in the middle of your workday or right at the end and you're trying to make the most of that last bit of time, or maybe you're just in a time crunch, whether it's with your home chores or out shopping, whatever it might be. Motivate, it's strong in the peppermint department. So it's got those citrus oils that keep you going, but I love the burst of peppermint in this blend. So it's got citrus and mint. Motivate comes in the 5 milliliter oil that you can drop into your diffuser. It also comes in one of our convenient touch blends. I'm going to put a little bit of this on myself right now. It's a great pure fume. I'm just going to roll it on my wrists and then breathe it in. So that's a great one to help keep you going and remind you that you can do it. You can do it. That peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart. So it's another one where if you're starting to feel that heaviness, peppermint can help you pop back up and keep going. And then, of course, balance. I can't talk about the gift of balance without mentioning balance oil. And I am going to put a few drops of this in my palm. This is why I did not put motivate on my neck, because I want to put some balance there. Balance has frankincense and some other lovely tree oils. It's perfect for grounding. If you're feeling some stress and tension in your shoulders, it's also going to bring relief, physical and emotional relief to your stress and tension. And just breathe that in. And then I wanted to talk about, first of all, great times to use balance would be first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and any time during the day. So truly, balance is one of those 24/7 oils. Anytime you need it to pick you up, calm you down, it really is a 24/7, everything you need kind of a blend. That's our balance. And so I wanted to say something that's important as you're trying to maintain your balance through the holidays, is to keep your sense of awareness intact. Sometimes we can get going really fast and just going from one thing to the next, and we stop and maybe listening to our bodies, paying attention to what's going on. And so a thought that I had was, this has happened to me before, a warning sign that you're slipping into some adrenal fatigue is falling out of balance. And so I notice it in the bathroom, if I'm using the bathroom or if I'm in the shower. So think of times when you're leaning over a little bit, you're sitting down, you're getting up, you're bending over in the shower. These are times where a couple times in my life I've noticed, oh my gosh, I felt like I was going to fall over there for a minute. That can be a scary feeling, and we don't want to ignore that. And in the hustle and bustle, you may lose your balance in the shower or when you're going to the bathroom. These are things that you're trying to do quickly. And so maybe you're not noticing or just spending some time in the awareness of those things. You're just moving past, like, oh, I'm fine. Or I'll deal with that later. You do not want to go through the holiday season with a hint of adrenal fatigue and then end up deeper in adrenal fatigue. This is something that you want to take care of right away if you start to notice those warning signs. So I just wanted to throw out there, if you're noticing, and just try to pay attention, even if you're baking in the kitchen, bending over, putting cookies in the oven, washing dishes, things like that. If you notice you're a little off balance, that could be your adrenals. And so balance oil is wonderful for physical balance. You can literally put that on the brainstem and it will help balance you. But if you feel like adrenals are also an issue for you, to support your adrenals and make sure they are getting what they need for optimal function, you can add basil or rosemary. Those are the top two recommendations. And then below that would be clove. And you could put those, the adrenals are the little glands that sit right above your kidneys. So kidneys are more low back, right above that kind of mid back area are going to be your adrenals. And they sit on either side right above your kidneys. And just so you know, your adrenal glands help with your processing. They create hormones, they connect to your metabolism, and they help they're regulating organs, and they help bring balance and control to some really important things. Blood pressure, heart rate, sweating. You want to make sure you're sweating. For a long period of my life, I didn't sweat at all, ever. And it was just a sure sign of toxicity buildup in my body, that I didn't have a healthy way to release sweat. And so as I step into that, I'm still not a big sweater, but I have intentional sweating when I go to my infrared sauna. And so I feel really good about that. I know my adrenals are functioning properly when I stand up out of that sauna after a good 20 minutes or so, and I'm soaked. So good for you. Then the outer part of the adrenal gland is responsible for producing those corticosteroids. Those are the hormones that help control metabolism and regulate inflammation in the body, water levels, and levels of electrolytes such as sodium and potassium. So really, really important. If you have an imbalance in your adrenals, that can lead to overproduction of corticosteroids or underproduction of those important hormones. And you don't want to go to either extreme. So want to keep those adrenals in balance. So let me leave you just with a nugget of wisdom as you focus on healthy balance during your holidays. Embracing the gift of balance, it makes it much easier to keep on track with your healthy habits that we talked about last week in the gift of health. And the more you stay on track with your healthy habits, then you don't have to sweat those small indulgences. If you want to have a dessert or if you want to have a cookie from time to time, because it's the holidays, then it allows you to thoroughly enjoy that. So it's such a cascade into wellness. When you focus on your health, you balance your time and your tasks, then you can easily indulge without the guilt in spending quality time with your family, having delicious foods that you look forward to during this time of year, maybe skipping a workout if that is what is best for you. You don't have to feel guilty about those things when you're anchored in to good, solid, healthy habits on the regular. And then all in all, it just enables you to be where you are and just be fully present and focused no matter what you're doing. If you need a little spiritual balance in your life, you're invited to join me for tonight's free meditation. I'm doing an Advent series. So the past couple of weeks, we've done Advent Hope and Advent Peace. Tonight, we're looking at Advent Love. That's at 8 o'clock on the Christy Gammon page on Facebook, or you can find the recording later on YouTube. Come and soak in the presence of God with me tonight at 8 p.m. And then just a couple quick announcements. Today is, if you're watching this live or watching this recording on December 15th, today's the last day for your free 15 milliliter clove oil and Christmas ornament. Those are member specials with your 125 PV qualifying order. And then our 200 point promotion for free 5 milliliter frankincense, myrrh, and holiday love is good through the 31st of the month. And just as a reminder, for every 200 point order that's placed, this can be any kind of order. It can be a new enrollment. It can be a standard order. It can be a loyalty rewards order. So any type of order that's 200 points, doTERRA is going to make a $5 donation to the Sanag Specialty Hospital through the Healing Hands Foundation. And this specialty hospital is the first and only of its kind in Somaliland, in this region where our frankincense is harvested. So it's a beautiful way for us to give back to this community who gives us so much through the gift of frankincense. And doTERRA has made a commitment to contribute $2 million to the project by the end of December. And so each time we submit our 200 point order, that helps bring us closer to that $2 million goal. So join me in taking part in that really fun promotion. Get 3 beautiful oils for free and contribute the life-saving medical facility that is needed in this region. So let me leave you today with, if you have any questions, placing an order on your own account, opening your own account, I'm happy to make recommendations. We highly recommend the gift of health during Christmas time and all year round. So let me know what questions you have, and I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one. Or if you want to post comments below this on Facebook or YouTube, I can answer questions and comments there, and everybody gets to benefit from that information. So I'll see you back next week. We're going to do one more Wellness Wednesday to round out 2021. That's going to be Wednesday, December 22nd at 2 p.m. right here. That's going to be the 5th part of our Healthy Holidays series, and we're going to talk about the gift of family. So join me for that, and in the meantime, here's to your continued health and wellness as always. Have a great day.